Richmond's about to change in a big way. I'm talking about a $900 million transformation in the heart of the city. It's called the Diamond District, and whether you think it's a brilliant move or a potential mess, one thing is clear: this is the biggest mixed-use project Richmond's ever seen. Stadiums, parks, housing, hotels, offices, retail, the whole thing. So today we're going to break down who's actually doing the build, what's happening, how is it affecting the local market, and whether it's a smart move for you to get in now. So let's start with the basics. The Diamond District spans 67 acres between Arthur Ashe Boulevard and Hermitage Road, basically right in between Scott's Addition and the Fan. Right now it's mostly surface lots and old industrial space, but in a few years it's going to be a walkable, live, work, play neighborhood with serious energy. At the center of it all is CarMax Park, a brand new 10,000-seat stadium and the future home of the Richmond Flying Squirrels. But this won't just be a ballpark. It's designed to host events year-round, concerts, festivals, community gatherings. Think more entertainment district, less one-purpose venue, and that's just the start. So here's the breakdown. There's going to be 2,800 residential units, 195,000 square feet of retail, over 1 million square feet of office space, and 8+ acres of parks and public green space. So just for scale, Phase 1A alone is bringing a 180-room hotel, 730 market rate apartments, 161 workforce units, 30,000 square feet of commercial, and that's just Phase 1. So who's behind this thing? This thing's not being thrown together by some out-of-town spec group. It's being led by RVA Diamond Partners, a team that includes Republic Properties, Loop Capital, and Richmond's own Tallheimer Realty Partners. So the local presence is huge because they know Richmond, they built here, lived here, and have a stake in how the city evolves. And then the construction is already in motion. Ground broke in April, cranes are up, dirt's being moved. The goal is to have CarMax Park open for the 2026 season, with the first batch of residential units coming online right around the same time. So bottom line, this isn't some maybe someday vision. It's happening now and it's happening fast. So let's talk about why this matters beyond construction. This project is expected to generate somewhere around $60 million a year in tax revenue once fully developed. Now, that's a projection, but even a fraction of that would have a massive impact on Richmond City's budget. Job-wise, we're looking at over 1,000 construction jobs during development and then close to 3,000 permanent jobs once it's built out. This means that more people working, more people moving in, and more demand for housing and local businesses. Scott's Addition is already really thriving with breweries, restaurants, and entertainment. If you add a stadium and 1,000 new residences and tons of office workers, it's easy to see how this could double foot traffic for local spots. You know, as somebody who sells real estate, owns real estate, invests in real estate, I think this is a great spot to invest. There's very few places for sale in Scott's Addition. So for example, the Hook and Ladder Lofts, I think is a great investment. Anything in this little corridor, I think is a great buy. I think that you're really going to see a huge increase in property value over the next few years. Developers here are prioritizing space for local businesses, and there's a push to include minority-owned businesses in both construction and retail opportunities. That's a big deal when it comes to making sure growth is inclusive, not just flashy. So what does this mean for housing? The Diamond District isn't a big, shiny stadium. It's a major housing expansion. So the full plan calls for nearly 3,000 new residential units, including both market rate and affordable housing. In Phase 1A alone, we've got 730 market rate apartments and 161 workforce housing units priced at 60% of the area median income. This matters because Richmond's housing inventory has been really tight. Prices have climbed steadily, and this project adds options to a part of the city that really needs them. Right now, pricing hasn't been finalized, but projections say market rate studios could start around $1,400 a month, while affordable units could land closer to $1,000 a month. Bigger units will obviously go higher, but the real benefit here is volume and variety. And if you're wondering whether this will impact real estate values, spoiler alert, it already has. Since the project was announced, nearby property values have jumped by an estimated 8%. And if you look at what happened in Scott's Addition over the past 5 years, that kind of appreciation isn't unrealistic. I would really consider investing in this little corridor. I think that you're gonna see a huge jump in appreciation. So let's talk lifestyle, because if you're living here or thinking about investing, you'll wanna know what it's like to actually be in the Diamond District. So you've got walkability, green space, public transit access, and proximity to some of Richmond's best spots, like Scott's Addition, Carytown, the James River. Everything's either steps away or just a short bike ride. So transit-wise, the GRTC Pulse bus system runs right along Broad Street as well as Arthur Ashe Boulevard, so it stops directly in front of the site. Plus, the city's investing in centralized parking and pedestrian-friendly infrastructure. So yes, this is being designed for how people live today, not 20 years ago. Actually, VCU is building its own 40-acre athletic village nearby, so this whole corridor is really becoming a hub for sports, entertainment, and urban living. So I'm really excited. I really can't wait to see what this turns out like. I think that this is going to be a great addition to Richmond. You know, of course, no project this size comes without its challenges. Traffic is definitely going to be a concern. More residents and more events means more cars, but developers are really trying to get ahead of it with better street design, transit integration, and structured parking. Construction's going to be a disruption. There's no way around that. The timeline stretches to at least 2030, so if you live nearby, expect noise and traffic detours. And then there's the question of preserving Richmond's identity. With so much new construction, it's easy to lose sight of the local charm, but Tallheimer being involved and the city prioritizing local businesses and historic design cues gives us a reason to be optimistic. So big picture, this is a bold swing, but if it lands, Richmond could emerge as one of the most livable mid-sized cities on the East Coast. So what do you guys think? Game changer, or is it too much too fast? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you're thinking about buying, investing, or just want boots on the ground insights into what's happening around the Diamond District, please reach out. My team and I would love to be a real estate resource of choice and have helped thousands of homeowners buy and sell homes here in Richmond. Just reach out using the contact details in the description below. Thanks again for watching, guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next one.